Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Fempire Podcast. Excited to be here today with actually, I'm the third, so it's actually two amazing women. First, we have Alexandra Klein, who is a marketing associate at This Dot. Hi, Alexandra.
Hi.
And Alexandra joins us from, I forget the exact city that you are in.
Well,
I'm
right
terrible.
I usually live in the capital city of Abuja, but at the moment I'm in Port Harcourt. It's in the south of Nigeria, and I'm visiting my family over here.
Oh, great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And then we have Tara Manicsic, who is a developer advocate at Progress, joining us from Columbus, right? Columbus, Ohio?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
I'm off my game today. I am so off my game.
I don't know how you would memorize all of this anyway. So
yeah.
I mean, even when you're off your game, it's still beyond everybody else's game. So it's fine.
That's like Chloe Condon posted a tweet. She was having anxiety because she felt like she was failing. And then she said, but my half ass is someone else's full ass. That probably wasn't exactly the right words, but you guys get my point. So
I like that quote. Even if that's not the quote, I really like that quote too.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so thank you, Tara. And my name's Tracy, by the way. You can follow me on Twitter at LadyLeet. And I am one of the co-founders of a company called This Dot Labs and This Dot Media. We really focus on trying to create a more inclusive web. And we do that through doing free events, podcasts, conferences, events, and all those other exciting things. And then we also actually have a Hire the Fempire program, which is trying to help more women get into tech. So our whole thing is, hey, if you're going to spend money on development, you might as well spend it on hiring women. And we have some of the best in the industry. So, duh.
Tagline.
Duh. I like that.
Yeah.
You have to make that an acronym for something.
Like
daughters under hire or something like that.
I like that. I'm definitely going to do that. Actually, the guys were like, oh my God, Tracy, I can't believe. So we were talking about the things we wanted to focus on this year. And I was like, okay, performance, architecture, migrations, Pam. And they're still like baffled that actually stuck.
It works.
Yeah. We were saying that we just need an S to make it spam.
Structuring, just put structuring in front of it. You can put structuring in front of anything.
So we're gonna say duh. We're gonna call it the duh.
So good.
Anyway, so this is the third or fourth episode of this podcast. And Alexandra, do you want to take it away with some of the upcoming events that are going on?
Sure. So there's a lot happening, lots of events coming up. There was just one yesterday, which was really interesting because it did bring up a lot of tweets. It was Open Source 101, and Tracy actually gave a keynote at this about diversity and inclusion. And it got people tweeting about the Hire the Fempire program that we have here at This Dot, which was really great to see. It was great to see all the engagement going on. There's also the NGConf coming up from the 1st of May through the 3rd of May. And Tracy will actually be giving an RX workshop at this conference. We've got a new segment of the Fempire Podcast, and that starts on May 6th. It's where I would be interviewing amazing women in tech who are doing amazing things. The first person I have up is Laura Tackle from CloudBees. So that's really exciting, and I can't wait to do that. Then there's Google I/O coming up from May 7th through May 9th. And then we also have the next This Dot Labs podcast on May 7th. And you definitely don't want to miss it. It's always so great, and people always learn so much from it. The Modern Web podcast is also on May 8th. So these are all dates that everyone can save in their calendars and at least try to join one event. The State of Browsers is also in May on 14th, and it's at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We also have the GraphQL Contributor Days on May 15th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you do want more details about the GraphQL Contributor Days, you could go to our website. That's www.thisdot.co/contributor-days. So that's all the events we have coming up in May.
Oh my God, I'm like literally tired even thinking about that list right now.
It's so much.
Yeah.
It's good. It's for the people.
For the people, by the people. That's like foo-foo, right? For us, by us.
For us, by us, yeah.
Okay, what should we talk about next?
So speaking of all these events, I actually was thinking about the other day. I was looking over different speaker lists and schedules for conferences coming up, and it made me realize that there's so many awesome talks. And I always like read schedules like a few days before a conference. So I want to just bring some to the attention of everybody that I just were really excited about. And I only wanted to do 4 events because the list could just be ridiculous if I tried to go even farther than that or even further. But so one of the ones that that Alexandra was just talking about, NGConf. So there are so many good talks on there that I just wanted to name a few. Like Tracy's got her workshop, which is very exciting, which I've always heard good things about that workshop, or about you leading workshops in general. And then we were talking about Chloe earlier. She actually has an IoT for introverts talk, which I think just sounds hilarious. And Kim Maida is doing a subjecting state to good behavior, which I like how catchy these titles are, but also just that's not the easiest thing to wrangle, dealing with state. So I'm excited to see her approach to that. And then Melina Bedoya has a How Tech Communities Can Change Your Life, which I feel is really interesting because one of my most the things that like really pushes me on different communities or like using different languages is how good or bad the tech communities are. Because I've been a part of a lot of front-end tech communities, and the Node community was my first community. It made me fall in love with like beyond just liking the language so much, just liking the community. And so I'm really interested to see what she has to say about this. Johanna Pierce has an A is for Angular talk. And I'll be emceeing too, by the way. So I'll be there. And then 2 other ones that caught my attention. Jennifer Wadella is doing the control value accessor, and like the title to this is like a wormhole in space for your forms, only more useful. So it's like, okay, what the heck is that about? But I know that a lot of us know Katerina from the Angular community in general. She actually has a talk that I think is going to be really interesting called It's Just a Compliment After All. And that's actually focusing on the unfortunate events that happen to women in the tech communities. And she says that it basically is ranging from like things that are kind of funny and lighthearted to more serious things. But then she also in the talk kind of, she's going to run through a few examples of how to behave in a situation or how to react in a situation. And I think that's just really important to shine a light on things like that. I would have liked it to be on the main stage, but that's during Fair Day. And I think that's going to be really interesting because I don't think we talk about that enough. So that's NGConf, May 1st through 3rd. Any other ones that you all thought of with NGConf?
No, but I'm just wondering, are you going to have the baby on the hip on stage?
So I joked with Frosty, who's the other MC, that do you remember the scene in Alien where the guy is eating the food and like, well, actually, I always remember the one from Spaceballs, more importantly, when they're at the diner and the little alien jumps out of the stomach. Well, when I wear my son in the carrier, it kind of looks like this kind of, so I thought about dressing him up like that. Like I would wear the white spacesuit thing and he would be coming out like an alien. We'll see.
I love that. Baby on the hip. It reminds me of that one, Gretchen, is it Gretchen Wilson? Like, I'm a redneck woman. I know something, baby on my hip. No?
I don't know, but
Anybody know the
I like
song?
it already.
I love that song. It goes like, Victoria's Secret, that stuff's just nice, but I can buy the same damn thing on a Walmart shelf half price.
So you're gonna have to put that in one of the closing credits of one of the
podcasts. Any other ones that you want to talk about? There's so many amazing events coming up.
So my company is doing Progress Next on May 6th through 9th in Orlando, Florida. And the thing that I'm really excited about is our keynote is Megan Smith, who was the third Chief Technology Officer of the United States from 2014 to 2017. So, and now she's the CEO of Shift7, but like, I'm very excited to see what she has to talk about. So, but then the next two conferences I want to talk about, there's just a ton of really good speakers. So I won't talk about all of them. So the first one is JSConf EU. And that's happening in Berlin from June 1st to June 2nd. And I highly recommend just checking out the speakers list because, like, first of all, it's like really interesting technical things. Zoran Sun is talking about building an end-to-end IoT system with JavaScript, but it's like GDPR. It has GDPR awareness, and it's just interesting to see how she approached it, choosing JavaScript as the prime language to be doing that. And then Una Kravitz, like, always has amazing talks, and she's talking about CSS Houdini that should be coming out soon. That is the future of styling. I will be speaking there about ES 2019 features, and then my coworker Stan Amira is talking about embedding V8 in the real world, and she gives really great talks. But there's one, Cher Min Jung is doing recreating retro computer art with JS. And she talks about how before we had ASCII art, before we had all of that, how artists went in and used JavaScript to make their creations. And I'm excited because I can't even wrap my mind around, like, I can barely do CSS. So like, obviously CSS was formed from people using JavaScript and getting frustrated with styling JavaScript. So I think it'll be really interesting to see how she does that. And the two other ones that I'll just bring up is Joy Chiyoung is talking about web APIs and Node Core, and talking about the past, present, and future, which I think will be really enlightening about how we've come where we come. And I mean, we use APIs every day for so much that I think that'll just be very interesting. And Kat, which I always feel like I'm going to say their last name wrong, was like Kat Merchan, talking about Tink, which is a next generation package manager built out of NPM. Like, the NPM team built it. So I think that's going to be extremely interesting as well. But seriously, the list is ridiculous for just how many great people they have speaking on. The one that caught my attention first was Allison McMillan is doing BDD, which is baby-driven development. So it's going to be like all around interesting, I'm sure.
Those are some great talks. I mean, especially for JSConf EU. I mean, I've never been, but I just haven't ever really looked at the lineup. Those are some really unique talks.
It's like, I think Rachel White is emceeing along with, shoot, I can't recall offhand. Jen Turner. Yeah, Jen Turner. And I remember Jen Turner emceed, there was an And Yet Conf a few years ago, and they always just have such a great time on stage. I'm very excited even just for the MCs of the conference. The last one that I want to talk about, they have a really great keynote, Refactor Tech. And so I actually have the sweatshirt on of some of the organizers of Refactor Tech made the sweatshirt for one of the other conferences they're doing. And I like it so much that I cut it to make it a nursing top.
Oh my God, that is really cute.
So I'm very excited. This is the first time they're putting on Refactor Tech. And they have an amazing lineup of people coming through, including my amazing coworker, Jen Looper. And I mean, tons more. Chloe will actually also be there. I'm very, very sad to miss it. I was really looking forward to it, but I think we're still going to be in Berlin. And Pearl, I always think I'm going to say her last name wrong too. Latier?
I think it's Bladier.
Latier?
Isn't it
Let's
a
call
B?
her. I'm just kidding.
Pearl. Isn't it a Blatteier?
It's Latteier. Latier.
Her email is like P Bladier. I could be wrong.
But that's another one. And Henri Helvetica. I think this is the first. He's going to be having his buttons there. Have you all seen these buttons by chance?
No.
I have some right in front of me. Ugh. But
you know what? It's her Twitter handle is Bladier. That's what it is. So it must be her middle name. Node J is by name. That's cute. I like that. Hey, actually, I was cleaning out my house, and I found from years and years and years ago, I actually have a button maker.
Tracy, look at this one.
I know.
Speaking of,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I have a button maker, so there are possibilities.
There is, yeah. I think the first one you should make is duh.
Yeah, hire a woman, duh.
So yeah, there's a ton on that Refactor Tech list that I've seen a lot of them speak, and it's very exciting. Dr. Faith H. Wallace is on there again. I think she did the keynote for, why did that just slip my mind now? One of the Atlanta conferences. I'm going to say the name wrong, so I'm just not going to say it. But she does really great talks focusing on just basically the science behind why things are done. And she puts a lot of really great, interesting Doctor Who and Harry Potter references throughout her talks. So that should be really good. But yeah, and lots more. So definitely check out Refactor Tech. Refactor, REFACTR.tech. That tripped me up a little bit when I was looking for it earlier today.
We're actually also, Google is also all about an inclusive web, right? And AMP, Accelerated Multiple Pages, is another way that Google is trying to build a more inclusive web by providing free content about AMP. So they're actually going to be putting on the AMP Roadshow as a part of Refactor.
What?
So a free 8-hour conference during the workshop day, which is Wednesday, and it's free for anybody, so anybody can join. But I love that idea.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, actually, sorry, it's not free. It's like $10 or something like that. But mainly, they're doing it just to make sure people show up.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Don't know how that goes.
Usually with events like that, if you're interested in going and can't spare the $10, you just reach out to someone and let them know. And there's ways that they make it inclusive for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
If you on Refactor text page, if you look at Susan Lynn's hair, I think that is my next hair inspiration. Her hair is amazing. But that's it because I could, if I went into more events, I could go on forever. But those are the ones that I just kind of wanted to bring to attention.
Yeah. Cool. Alexandra, what's next?
So next we have new releases or cool technologies of the tech world. So I was doing some research and trying to find some cool stuff that have come out recently. And then I saw some forums where people were talking about the updated version of Edge. And I actually heard this from my husband days ago. And he was trying to explain to me what Edge was. So I had no idea. So we literally went through this Google search to just explain to me what Edge browser was. And it turns out it's literally like a replacement for Internet Explorer. So because back then Internet Explorer was the coolest thing ever. It was the best browser. And I think everyone had it on their computers, but it used to be so slow. So other ones like Firefox and especially Chrome caught on and kind of just took over. And I think Chrome is probably the most used browser by people. So now Microsoft has gone ahead and updated the Edge browser, and they've made it open source like Chrome. And from what I was reading, it's been built with the same engine used by Chrome. So by incorporating this new idea into Edge and updating it, basically Microsoft is like, hey, you don't need to use Chrome if you have Windows. Just use Edge browser because it should be the same thing. So apparently it's available on Windows, but not yet on MacBooks, but should soon be available for Macs. And some people are really excited about this because you have that group of people that's usually really paranoid about Google stealing their information when they're using Chrome.
Which is
So they're really excited.
Yeah, which is kind of hilarious as well that well, yeah. I mean, Tara, do you have any thoughts on this? The irony.
Well, I mean, I feel like we had I'm so bad with names today, but we were talking about Samsung Internet actually with I need to I have her in my brain so
You mean
well.
like Samsung's browser? Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So theirs is I wish I could find her right now, but she has. Oh man, I can picture her so well in my brain right now. Let me just get her name so that I don't. She has pink hair. And she works for Samsung, and she was talking about Samsung's internet, and it's one of the most.
Oh my God, is it Ada? It's not Ada.
No.
Is it?
No.
Oh my God, it's gonna kill me too.
I know, and it's like right on the tip of my tongue.
Well, Ada works. Ada works for Samsung though.
Yes.
Ada works Gannon. She works for Samsung.
But I was specifically.
There's like one other person.
And it's so funny because I love her, and I can't think of her name right now, and I can't find her on my list right now.
Mm-hmm.
But she was basically talking about how much effort they're putting in towards making sure that it's not tracking your information, that they're doing a lot more efforts to keep your privacy on there. And Joe Frank. Jeez, oh Pete.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I literally just Googled Samsung pink hair to see what to come up. Joe Frank did not come.
Frank Kitty, sorry, not Joe Frank. She is I think it's her thing is This Is Joe Frank, but it's Joe Frank Kitty, who's amazing and definitely a woman in tech to follow. One of my favorite things is her pinned tweet, which is this amazing LED dress that she puts on. But she also gives really great talks, does a lot to basically inform people about what Samsung is doing to make sure that your information is secure out there, and which is very important, and especially since people are becoming aware now that their information is not secure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, Brave browser as well, right? They're all about, no ads, how much time does it save you on your bandwidth, et cetera, et cetera. So I love that Brave and Samsung are, two champions kind of in this space, which is really important for, I think, making sure that the larger browsers are starting to say, oh, okay, these people that have a little bit of market share, we should probably be, taking these things into consideration, right?
Yeah.
It becomes less of a monopoly.
Yeah, Opera as well, I know, has a free VPN with their browser. But another thing about Edge, though, is they've been doing a lot of work towards PWA stuff. So working towards service workers, putting PWAs in their app stores. So there's a lot of really great work going down with Edge as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we will have that State of Browsers event coming up very soon. We've been talking to Samsung to see if they can join. Somebody from Intel is going to be joining. Somebody from Igalia is going to be talking about WebKit, and we are going to have, Brave and Edge, and actually another amazing woman is Stephanie Drescher, and she'll actually be joining us to talk about Edge and give an update on that. So if you just want quick tidbits, these are like 5-minute presentations from different browsers. And it's a really good way to just like make sure you know what the hell's going on in the industry, which is why I like it.
And it's really great too, because that's really hard to keep track of.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, okay, come on, tell us, instead of like thinking that we're going to sift through your GitHub repo and figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes. Insert meme here. So talking about amazing women doing amazing things, let's do the Fempire of the Month. There's a few people. I think Erica Stanley, I just was on a panel with her yesterday at Open Source 101.
Erica's awesome.
I know, she really is. I mean, because she's part of Refactor as well. And we gave a really awesome panel on diversity and inclusion. And, she's just such a positive light in the Atlanta tech community and just in general for women in tech. So I love her to pieces. You can follow her on Twitter at Erica Stanley. And then Angel Banks. So we've been working together to talk about Refactor stuff. I mean, Angel is the first person that introduced me to the women in tech community in Atlanta. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, she puts so much effort towards building that community across multiple communities. I remember I met her at the first and one of only two, I think, Jazz Cons. Yeah. And I immediately was just like, she does so much for the communities, and she's just great to be around in general. And then being around her and Erica in the Atlanta scene, it's just like, oh yeah, they're really getting everything moving there. It's fantastic.
Right. I love it. And then also, there's so many people I met yesterday at Open Source 101 that are just internal champions of diversity and inclusion within their organizations. So just want to give a shout out to those people who, maybe aren't as visible within the broader tech scene, and encourage them to say, hey, come share your stories. We want to hear about what's happening with diversity and inclusion within your organizations. And thank you so much for all the work that you do that is, kind of unsung in the JavaScript ecosystem, Any others that you guys want to talk about?
Well, I would like to say, because we were just talking about these three of these people, one being Joe Franchetti. I had her come speak at one of my DevReach, one of my other work conferences that happens in Bulgaria. And she's a great speaker, does a lot to talk about mental health, anxiety, imposter syndrome, and just really open, which I think is another thing that we need to talk about more in our industry in general. She just does a lot of really cool work too. And then Stan Amira, my other coworker, who has been doing, she's from Sofia. If you're ever in Sofia, Bulgaria, definitely send her a tweet. She's very fun to hang out with and can show you around. But she does really great talks. She's on our NativeScript engineering team and does a lot to kind of also involve the community in the different things that she's coding, that she's working with, like she's doing the V8 talk for JSConf.eu. And I highly recommend checking out her talks because she does a really great job of conveying a lot of the technical details that we find interesting. And last but not least, my other coworker that we were talking about, Jen Looper, with her Vue Vixens project, she just released a trading card deck of JavaScript heroines, and basically you can, if you find Jen Looper, I think she's just Jen Looper on Twitter, you can see this deck. But
it's such an awesome initiative. It's so great. And I just love seeing that people are buying it for swag for conferences and different things like that. It's so great.
Well, she's so a lot of you can see it in the apps that she makes too. She has a lot of fun with technology, which I think is important because, we tend to, we make technology for a lot of serious things, and to be able to make it more approachable and more lighthearted, but also still doing the serious technology things that it does. She does a great job of doing initiatives like this that are fun, like View Vixens, like coming up with View Vixens, and they have silks and foxes on everything. Is just a smart way about going things to kind of bring the attention to these important causes.
Hey, husband.
You can wave as you go by, man.
Hey.
He's been so quiet through the whole podcast.
I
Yeah.
listened the whole time.
So cool. And let's see, Alexandra, what do we have next?
So next we have tech-focused female initiatives. So on social media, I found two really cool tech-focused initiatives. The first one I found is called Tech May. Their Twitter handle is at TechMay1. That's the number 1. And their website is www.techmay.com. May, M-A-E. So it's an online networking community for women in tech and women in business. And it's supposed to bridge that gap where you are able to meet other people who share common goals or common professional and personal interests with you. And then you get to know each other, build this community, and be able to help each other or even trade ideas. And it's a relatively new platform. I think it just started up recently, but they're starting to get some attention already. I think it's pretty cool that they're mixing tech and business together. So that way, these are two things that usually need one another to work. So at least these women get to have this little community online where they can join in from anywhere they are in the world and trade ideas. And then there's another one I found, and it's called Tech Her. And their Twitter handle is TechHerNG, and their website is www.techherng.com. So this is another community for women in tech, online and offline. It's actually founded by Nigerian women in the city of Abuja, which is the capital, but they do organize some conferences around the country. And they're focused on bringing women in tech together. So here there's this growing tech scene, and also this new thing where women really want to be involved because we've just been oppressed for so long. And this platform provides women with the opportunity to meet one another, communicate, and help each other. And they also provide training for women who want to learn about tech, software, programming. So it's just a space for women to come together and learn, and also learn how to earn in the tech field. So it's not just about learning how to do these things, but also how to be independent and make a living out of it.
Ooh, I like that motto, learn and earn. One that I wanted to bring up is actually South Carolina. South Carolina is quite a progressive state. So they have South Carolina codes. It's sccodes.org. And it's basically to try to get all South Carolinians to kind of like learn tech in general, learn how to code. But the great thing about it is that the platform's actually open. So you can just go to SC Codes as anybody and go through these classes. Highly recommended. It's free. But again, it's like trying to get the I was joking around that dating sites, they have like Christian Mingle, farmer dating, all those other things. So like creating these groups called like Farmers Who Code, Christians Who Code, But anyway, South Carolina Codes is sort of this really amazing organization that I heard about yesterday. So what's next on our agenda? We have, I think, 2 or 3 more things to talk about.
Yeah. So the next thing we have here is new women in tech. You've met?
Yeah, there's so many for me, but Alexandra, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so recently I started meeting women in tech, and it's been so exciting to actually get to know more about the tech scene and women who are actually doing really great things. As I've been trying to organize the second segment of the podcasts for the interviews, I've had the chance to speak with a lot of these women, and I think two really stuck out recently when I was trying to organize, and the two of them were Chloe Condon and Ire Aderinokun. So Chloe, I think Chloe's doing really amazing things. I love that she's also very diversity focused, and she stands up against misogyny. Sometimes you go through her Twitter or you see her post, and it's very empowering to women who are trying to get into the tech scene, or women who are already in tech and probably do feel a bit marginalized sometimes. So I like that you can feel that positivity from her. And then you could also see all the amazing things she's done over the years and how far her career has actually come. And it's truly inspirational for people who are just starting up. It's fantastic. And then Ire is, she's also a software engineer, and she happens to be from Nigeria. And she's also someone else who's a game changer in the tech scene. I think over here in the tech scene in Lagos, people really do look up to her work and what she's doing, especially younger people who are trying to break out in the tech scene. Like I said earlier, it's really a growing industry here right now, and people are really tapping into it as much as they can. But there's still people who probably feel like maybe they're too young, or maybe they're not from the right place, or maybe they might not get the recognition they would desire to get. But she's like a role model for them, and just watching her work and watching her growth over the years, it just shows them that, okay, well, if she can do it, then I possibly can as well. And I think it's really great.
Yeah, that's really amazing. We need, more role models always in the industry. So next up, we have tips for companies at creating inclusive environments, but we want to talk about we actually just really want to talk about parental leave policy. So I'll share sales loft. So I was talking to Erica Stanley and this guy, Ray Gesualdo yesterday. And he was telling me about sales loft parental leave policy because he's about to have a baby. And they have 12 weeks for moms and then 6 weeks for dads and or parents that are adopting, which is super cool. And here's the other cool part. You get like free diapers. I don't remember how long, but like they send you free diapers for like 3 to 6 months, and they do in-house cleaning for a few months, twice a week.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah. And they give you a Blue Apron subscription for like 3 or 4 months or something like that.
That's so smart. Those are all the things that you actually need.
Yeah, like the cleaning and the food and the diapers. Like, how cool that you just like your company's just going to buy you diapers, and he says, yeah, just like shipments of diapers just show up every month for them.
Oh my gosh! So that's like, so I just had a baby 3.5 months ago, and that's definitely the thing that's important about having the time off is just the fact of bonding with your child. And it's so depressing to hear how many people in America don't get that time because their companies or wherever they work just don't give them the time, especially because it's like the biggest thing, in my opinion, is definitely getting mothers the time to, not only nurture the baby to help it grow, but to connect with the baby. And that I think is the number one priority. Like we definitely need to get that unlocked, but also having that paternal leave there. So my company Progress has the parental leave, which is that the 6 weeks, whether it's, adoptive, just the caretaker, the partner, the father, they have that time to spend with, like how Salesforce has it. And then the mother has 12 weeks, and I think even longer if it's a C-section. But it's that having like diapers, but most importantly, someone like clean the house. That's so clutch. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, everyone go work for Sales Loft. But I don't know if Tara, did you watch Ali Wong?
Oh yeah.
She's a comedian. So
Yeah.
the funniest part was when she was like, look, parental leave is important, but it's not because of the baby. It's to get your butt to get like just like, hello, I need to recover from the trauma that was just, from my body.
It's the biggest, it's the most drastic change your body goes through in your life. Like, everything grows so much, and then you're supposed to snap back and go back to work. Like, no, that's, it's a really mind-boggling to me that people don't understand, especially with C-sections. Like, you're basically cutting through to get the baby out, and then you want to go back to work in a week or two. It's just, you can't do that. It's just not possible.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, anyway, so important parental policies are, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that people have to understand, because I was very hesitant about telling people that at my job that I was pregnant. And because at first I felt so guilty about taking that leave time for when the baby came around. But at the same time, it's just how you have to understand how much you're putting into a company. And even in other countries, people take 3 months of vacation time, let alone not even just the fact that you're bringing a new human into the world. So it's really our policies that need to change, not how we're approaching things. And I remember just thinking about looking forward to having my maternity leave just to have a break. I was just like, oh, it's going to be so nice. I'm just like not working for that time. It's going to be great. And then you realize like you get 2 hours of sleep a night and you're raising a human being that does not know how to function at all in this world. And it's like, okay, that wasn't really a break. That was a lot of work. So I think that a lot of companies should really take a hard look at what they're doing for parental leaves because having both parents there, both partners, even if you're adopting, transitioning this human that's going to be our future into what they need to survive and feel cared for and nurtured is super important. These are our future.
Yeah, and it's also like I don't remember what I was reading online, but like parental leave is also a really good way to retain talent, because what a lot of people do is they're like, okay, I'm having my baby, I'm going to take a break, and then I'm probably not going to come back. So you don't want to lose that talent of, women just saying like, all right, peace out. Yeah. So
I honestly, like, before I went on maternity leave, there were job offers that I had that I turned down because they didn't have a good parental leave program. And that's, especially with developers, you can't, half the time you can't afford to lose them over things like this, where it's just like, yeah, would you, like, for my company, I was out for 3 months, but I've been there for 5 years. So, weighing those kind of options where it's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure my contribution definitely outweighed the time that you gave me to help grow a human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of which, the Gretchen Wilson song, what does it say? It says, I have to, okay, like, some people look down on me, but I don't give a rip. I stand barefooted in my own front yard with a baby on my hip, because I'm a redneck woman. I ain't no high class broad. Anyway, baby on the hip. So
did you see that tweet that I did where I'm breastfeeding Nico, my son, while I'm typing code with one hand?
No, you have to send it to me though, because that's amazing.
It's funny though, because I have been one-handed coding for some time now. People I think overestimate how much typing goes into coding, because most of the time you're thinking about what you have to code out.
Right.
And so I would usually eat and code. So I was already kind of doing a lot of one-handed coding, but now I sustain a human life while I code. So
that is awesome.
it makes me feel a lot better. Someone's still eating. It's just not me.
So I wanted to end this off with, you can follow all these amazing women on Twitter. I'm going to put your guys' Twitter handles in the credits. Thanks everyone for listening. Again, I wanted to also thank N Studio, who is for sponsoring us and supporting the Fempires. So
Nice.
if you want native script work, N Studio is one of our first sponsors. If you want to sponsor us, we're super happy. Just email me, Tracy at this.co, or tweet me at Lady Leet. And then also this.labs, right? As our new motto is, as Tara recommended, is hire women. Duh. But I mean, not our entire team is women, right? Like we have a very large, like, if not over 50%, very close to 50% female thing. But it's like, when you hire us, you're helping us do those initiatives. You know, like you're providing money for us to get more women into tech. So we're not saying like you're always going to work with a female, but unless you want to hire juniors, then you're definitely going to be working with female. We're also the best, right, Tara? Like,
Yes, totally.
duh.
Duh.
All right. Well, we will see everybody in a month. Thank you so much for listening.